Skybar, Iris, White, Pier 7. Nightclubs, especially on the roof, a Beirut speciality.
They are among the bubbliest nightclubs anywhere in the world. A bit in English, a bit in French, a bit in Italian, and you hear, 10 languages being spoken on the rooftops. Yes, they're bringing more tourists than anything else, I'm sorry to say. But this is the reality of Beirut, and they are great.
It's Thursday night, and Skybar is already pretty packed.
I mean,
it's places like this that are essential if Beirut wants to recapture its role as being the place to be in the Med.
This is what makes Lebanon very special, because there's no planning, so we try to have as much pleasure and fun as possible, as if there's no tomorrow.
They call this place, perhaps obviously, White, and this is the calm before the storm. Anytime now, the doors will open, and tonight, like every other night, this place will enter the battle of the rooftops of Beirut.
There may be fewer tourists here because of the political instability, but worry not, the Beirutis party on.
The clubs thrive in the face of political instability. Millions of dollars are spent on new creations. Take this one, Pier 7. It's the new kid on the block.
Welcome to Beirut. I love this city.
I think it's a legacy more than just a trend. Beirut, before the civil war in '75, was what we call the Switzerland of the Middle East. Of the Middle East. After the war, it's coming back. I think it's a legacy of a very cosmopolitan city, a very magical one.
Cosmopolitan sometimes gives way to hedonism, which is often a way of life in the Lebanese capital, forged from a turbulent past and an uncertain future.
This is where Beirut has put its sort of name on the map. Even when the war was happening, people wanted to kind of go out and, forget what was happening around them. The attitude here is sort of live for today and we worry about tomorrow.
Behind these carefree parties is a wider mentality that filters through to the streets of the city. Ziad Kamel is part of the new generation of entrepreneurs who have learned from experience. Doing business in Beirut is about being ready for anything.
Our first business opened its doors in July 8, 2006, and 4 days later was the Israeli war with Lebanon. So we had to shut down just after being open for 4 days and flee the country. You always have to be optimistic in Lebanon. You always have to be long-term thinking. You always have to think for the better day.
The joie de vivre is our brand.
It's also been put to us as meaning people live for today because they don't know what tomorrow will bring.
There is an element of that, yes. After 30 years of civil war, we take our time and we enjoy life. We, the Lebanese, we understand that. It's part of our life now. And we're not worried.
Far from being worried, they are celebrating this new partying reputation, which is bringing international stars like the American singer Kesha to the country.
This is my first time here. I'm so excited to be here. Don't stop me.
I have watched CNN, so I naturally know that this part of the world there's been, a tumultuous past, but doing a little bit more research, I found out that it's actually very safe and is getting to be more and more well known for the nightclub life here.
DJ, turn it up.
I mean, they have this saying in Beirut, you live today because they don't know what tomorrow is going to bring.
I love that.
Yeah.
I kind of live my life with that same sort of sentiment. That's kind of how I also perform my shows. I just go for it as hard as I can.
When you know the history of Beirut, then the rooftops start to make sense. You can start to draw the connections between the turbulent past, the hedonism of the present, and the what will be attitude to tomorrow. In this city, the people are voting with their feet late into the night.